Saving money is easier said than done. I feel like we live in this culture where everyone is always buying something new and then they put it on social media and then you're scrolling social media and then you're like, oh, if everybody else has one, then I probably need one too. Spoiler alert, not everybody else has one. I am here to tell you that there are so many ways out there that you can actually save your money and ding 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 on the plus side, also reduce your waste. I have 6 tips that I'm going to share with you guys today. They're my personal favorites. I do partake in every single one of these tips, so I can stand here and tell you, or sit here, that they are tried and true methods. They will save you money. And you know what? You're going to be reducing your waste too. Be a little bit more eco-friendly, a little bestie of the earth. I don't know why I said bestie. I was trying to appeal to Gen Z. I am Gen Z. I don't know. But first, if you're new here, my name is Crystalline, but you can call me Krys, and we chat all things mind, body, and planet on this corner of the internet. I hope you stick around because there are more videos like this to come. Let's dive into my ways, my little life hacks to save money and also reduce your waste. Of course, I would be silly if I did not mention upcycling the things that we already have. So let me dive into a few of my favorite ways to upcycle common things that we're already going to bring into our house anyways. Number one is going to be food jars. You get like a pasta sauce jar and it's glass. It's like a pretty sturdy glass, of course, because it's, you probably bought it in grocery stores. So it's got to take a lot of movement and from shipping and putting it on the shelf and taking it off the shelf and bringing it home. Well, those jars are honestly one of the best jars that you can use to organize your pantry. And I'm not just talking use put leftovers in it or whatnot. I'm talking actually organize your pantry. You can put pasta, fruits and nuts in them. You can put oatmeal. I think currently I'm actually using a jar that has oat flour in it that I've been making some baked oats with. Then I just get these glass markers that can wipe off with a little bit of warm water and some soap. And I write what is in the jar and when it expires or when I put it in there. So I'll write that on the jar so I know what's in the jar and how long it's going to last for. I think it's all too often we see these sort of aesthetic homes on the internet where everything in their pantry is completely organized in these very symmetrical and the same boxes, and their glass jars or plastic boxes, whatever the heck that person is using. And this is a similar way to get that feeling without having to spend hundreds, probably thousands of dollars. Those things are expensive. Trust me. I was on a hunt to kind of get a aesthetic looking pantry when I looked up how much those cost. And I was like, yeah, not in the budget for me. Anyways, whenever you reuse glass jars like that, it makes you be able to have this sort of visually pleasing pantry while also saving money. And also you're reducing your waste because you don't have to throw away or recycle the glass jars. You can just reuse them over and over again. On the same note of reusing your glass jars, you can also use them for leftovers. I work from home, so I usually do my lunches at home, but my husband does go to an office job every single day. And actually what we do for his lunchbox is we reuse these jelly jars from Bon Bon Bon. They're really cute, these cutie little jars. And they're the perfect size for his lunchbox to hold any snacks. So we put chips or crackers or whatever the heck his snack is for that day in those jars, and then we put them in his lunchbox and he goes to work and he eats them. On the same note of upcycling, another thing that I think is honestly such a life hack is those small beauty jars, that you get eye cream in, or you get maybe lip balm in. Those jars are so perfect for refilling with other lotions and then throwing that in your purse so you always have your favorite lotion on hand in case you have little dry hands, especially in the wintertime. It's just a perfect way to have those little favorite essentials on the go because you're just reusing containers instead of having to buy the specific travel size version of your favorite lotion. I also think on that same thought, using empty skincare for any sort of traveling essential shampoo, conditioner is a great way to do it as well. So you can just take your big shampoo bottle, fill up an empty skincare container, and then take that on the go, than having to worry about buying, again, specific travel size things, especially if you're flying. On our next thing, I personally don't like wrapping paper, okay? I think they're so cute and they can be so aesthetic, but I do feel like it's really wasteful. Think about it. You're buying paper to wrap gifts to then be shredded and then thrown away. And you can say, sure, you can recycle that paper, but so much wrapping paper actually has that foil on it that makes them metallic. And that cannot be recycled because it's kind of plastic. And glitter, kind of the same thought process on that. Like, you really can't recycle most wrapping papers because there's all of these like little things on it that make it not easy to recycle. So many recycling facilities won't even take the paper. And if you throw it in your recycling bin, you're essentially clogging up the whole system. It's kind of a mess. So here's what I do to still get kind of like aesthetic gifts without having to like go buy wrapping paper for the purpose of throwing it away. I save my packaging material, you know, like when you get like an Amazon package, for example, and on the inside, there's like this brown craft paper. I think it's supposed to replace like bubble wrap or packing peanuts, so it keeps that product in place. I save that brown craft paper and I use that as my gift wrap. Then I take my paint or stamps or ribbon and I kind of decorate it afterwards. So it still feels like really personalized. It's not just like a brown, like plain brown paper. Another thing that I've done in the past is actually save newspaper as well. My husband gets newspaper pretty much every single day to our house. And while we do read them, it's a lot of paper. So if I'm not going to donate it to like our local animal shelters to use there, then I save the newspaper and I use that as wrapping paper as well. I know it can be recycled because newspaper can be recycled. And again, you can personalize it as well. Also, this is just a really fitting tip because this time of year is such a holiday extravaganza. Everybody's buying gifts for everybody, it feels like. So it's a great way to save money on wrapping paper and also have something a little bit more unique. But it also applies for things like birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, things like that. For this tip, you can't hate me. Okay, you cannot hate me for doing this. And I know this may not be everybody's like, forte or everybody's little thing that they're willing to do. But I mean, for gifts, it's pretty common you get a card. The front of it is usually like you open it and they only write on like the back end of the card. But if somebody only writes on like one part of the card, right? The other half that has the front facing part of the card is usually blank on the other end. And I always feel so wasteful. Like the cards, they're a thoughtful gesture, but at the end of the day, like unless you keep your cards or scrapbook your cards, then honestly, maybe you put them on your fridge for a little while and then they get recycled. And let me know in the comments if you think I'm a little crazy for doing this. But I actually just cut off part of the card so it goes from being this foldable card to just like a postcard front and back. And the part that is not written on, I will reuse. I will reuse that and I will send it to someone else. And if I want to keep the part that has like the nice written note, I still can keep it and still scrapbook it, but I can get like another use out of that card, saving a little bit of money and also less waste because you're reusing something. Have you ever gotten gifted new towels or your old towels get bleach stains on them? Or they just start kind of falling apart. And you're like, what do I do with these towels now that I don't use them anymore because I have newer and better ones? Well, let me tell you something. You can use those old towels as cleaning rags for whenever you're cleaning around your house. I don't know about you, but it is very common to clean with paper towels. Just like the sheer amount of paper towels that my house used to go through before switching over to rags was horrendous. If you have those old towels, what I did whenever we got gifted new towels is I just cut up the towel into like more manageable like squares. And now we use those to clean around our house, especially days where we're like deep cleaning and we're like really getting into it. The rags are better. Honestly, they work better than a paper towel. They hold more product, they hold more dust. And I really feel like they just get the job done better than what we were doing before. So it's a win-win. Really, it's a win-win. It's win-win. My next tip will save you from ever having to buy rubber bands ever again. Like ever again. I save the rubber bands from any sort of flower bouquet that I get from the store. I also save the rubber bands from fresh produce that I get at the grocery store. Like I know broccoli stalks usually have like a rubber band that holds the broccoli stems together. And I keep all of those rubber bands and I store them in a drawer in my kitchen and we use that for miscellaneous things around the house. Whenever we need a rubber band, we literally always have rubber bands on hand. In fact, we've collected so many, we could probably like make one of those rubber band balls, where you start to like collect them and it gets like pretty considerable sized ball that you can bounce around. But honestly, it makes it so much easier. Like we don't have to worry about getting rubber bands at the store ever because we know we always have some sort of rubber band that we've saved from something else that we've done in the past or bought in the past. And then we can just use that. 10 out of 10. I love that one. All hail the holy water bottle, the emotional support water bottle. My next tip is kind of more of a habit change. I guess some of these are more habit changes, but really this is probably like the biggest habit change. If I leave the house and I don't have my water bottle with me, I just feel like desperately parched. Like so thirsty to the degree that I'm like, I have to stop and go get a drink somewhere because I'm just so thirsty. I've really become so dependent on a water bottle. I don't know if that's like should be like sad or if that's like really healthy. Maybe I'm just like very hydrated. But getting in the habit of bringing your water bottle with you pretty much everywhere you go really saves you from having to buy like a plastic water bottle while you're out. Like I bring it to the zoo, the gardens, like I bring it to restaurants even. Like I just leave it in my car when we go into restaurants. I bring it to pretty much any like activity or event, whether we're going to be inside or outside for those events. And I always feel like I'm a little bit healthier because I always have my water bottle to fall back on instead of feeling like, oh, let me go out and stop and get like a Diet Coke somewhere or a water bottle whenever I'm traveling out and about. So I think the habit of bringing your water bottle around can really save you some money. On the same note of bringing your water bottle with you everywhere, if you are an avid coffee drinker like moi, another habit that I think is a good one to get into is if you know you're going to a coffee shop to bring your own coffee mug with you. 90% of the time, the coffee shop will use your own cup to fill your coffee in. The drink stays colder or hotter for longer. You don't have to worry, like if you get an iced coffee, which is normally my order, my coffee stays stronger for longer because I don't have to worry about the ice melting and really watering it down. I also love that, like, I usually bring like an insulated Yeti type mug whenever I go to coffee shops. So I don't have to worry about it like the plastic cup like sweating and then kind of getting my hands wet or like my clothes wet because it starts to like drip. Now I'm not 100% like the best at remembering to bring my cup all the time. Sometimes I don't anticipate getting a coffee, but I end up at the coffee shop. Like my car just drives me there by itself. It becomes more of like an impulse thing. And in those instances, I don't have my coffee cup with me, but if I'm planning for it, I try to remember to bring my coffee cup. A plus side on that too is I found a lot of coffee shops will give you a discount, anywhere from like 10% off to like 20% off for some places that I've gone to. Those are my tips. Those are my tips on how you can save money and how you can also reduce your waste. The biggest part of becoming more eco-friendly is really just creating these small little habit shifts that can help you be a little more mindful when you're out and about. By no means am I perfect. Like I forget to do some of these things sometimes, but the more that I do them, the more likely I can be in the habit of doing it without really thinking. It all is just like the little things. Like it starts with one small thing and then it begins to kind of snowball into something a little bit bigger, into more of a lifestyle change. But you can't do everything all at once right now. So I hope that you can take one of these tips. Maybe when you're at the coffee shop next, you're like, oh yeah, let me bring my own cup so I can get a little discount. That's all that I could ask from you guys watching this video. If there are other tips that you do that I did not mention, please drop it in the comments. I'm always looking for other little habits and things to save money and also reduce my waste. And it's also a fun way to kind of help each other out, you know? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and like it. Of course, you can subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Like I mentioned, we chat all things mind, body, and planet on this corner of the internet. So I hope you guys stick around. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.